All right, so what happens if we have two types of data we want to return? We have a JSON and then a user profile. And we want to make this request on a different location, not at home. We want to change the paths right here. So whenever we make a request to a URL or like /user, localhost /user, we want to get user data. And if the request it's home, we want to return an HTML response just like we did previously. So we call this a routing. Whenever you make a request to a very specific URL, you need a way to catch the location. And this is very simple to do. Since we created a server, we have the callback methods. Right here inside the response, we have access to the actual path where the user is making this request. So this is really simple. I'm going to go right here, going to make some space. So now what we can do in this case, we can create a simple if. And we can ask if the request, just like this, dot, and then URL, which is going to be the path where we are getting the request, it's equal to something, then we want to do something. If not, we want to do something else. So I'm going to do triple equal to, and I'm going to say home. So if the user makes a request from home, we're going to do something. Now, if the user makes a request from something someplace else, like else if, and someplace else, we want to do something else. So the other request, I'm going to call it request, and then URL, and it's going to be triple equal to /, then API, and then user. Most of the times when you have an API, the requests are going to /API. Could be just /user, but we're going to stick to the basics. So I'm going to save this, and now right here, since we want right here, if the user enters to the home, we want to send the HTML response we sent previously. So we kind of do the same thing. I'm going to copy the right head, just copy it, and I'm going to paste it here. Let me make the code bigger, the IDE a little bit bigger, just like this. And I'm going to make this. I'm going to close this. We don't really need it. So okay, we have the head, but the content type is going to be application.json. No, we want text and /HTML. Remember, we are fetching this. We are bringing the index.html. What we can do it inside, because whenever the application loads, we are loading. If we have the the variable right here, we are just loading the code regardless. Now, the only thing that I want to do is that whenever the user makes a request from home, then we load the index.html. And of course, then we need to send the response. So we say and we pass this HTML variable. Right? Makes sense? Good. And that's it. That's it for the home. This is really it. It's really simple. And for the other thing, we're going to do the same thing. And I'm going to just copy, delete, and paste it. If the user makes a request from API user, we're going to send the user back, this JSON back. Good. Let me make this a little bit better. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to go right here to the console. To the terminal. And I'm going to start the server again. We get node is running. Okay, so let's go to the browser, reload the page. And if we get from home, we are getting the HTML. And if we go to API /, and then user, we get the JSON. That's good. Now, what happens if the user goes to a different place? For example, a place that doesn't exist, like car. Well, nothing is going to happen. The application is going to, you're going to get an error message. It's going to try to do something. Since nothing is there to handle this scenario, it's just going to load for a long time, and then it's going to give you an error. Okay, so in this case, what we can do, since we have an if statement, we can do else. And if else, we want to send the response, we write head, and instead of passing 200, we pass a 404. Real simple. And then, of course, we close the connection response. .end, just like this, open and close. I'm going to save it. I'm going to kill the server again, and I'm going to start it again. I'm going to reload the page, and we get, of course, a 404. Let me just see the console. Failed to load response, we get a 404. So that is good. It's working. It's kind of a simple, but let's be honest. Every time that you have to create a server, you need to do this, and then inside of an if statement, it's not that good. Yeah, it's not that fun. So there's a very simple way and it's the way you're going to be using and the way everyone uses, which is going to be creating a server not just with Node but with Express. So Express is just a library that uses this create server to create a server, but everything gets easier. And of course, we're going to be doing a lot of things, and we're going to be doing it with Express because of course it's easier. Okay, so we're going to be wrapping with this. We're going to wrap up with this, and we're going to start with Express.